Hi, good morning to everyone who has joined us for the Chit Chat forum with the expert today. So I'm JT Yap, one of the student counselors in Inti IU Counseling Center. I'm a licensed counselor and registered counselor who is also practicing for about 3 years already. So we have just experienced a pandemic issue stemming up from COVID-19 situation. And a lot of us are feeling stressed and trapped in our house when we can't go out. And even when we can go out, there's the sense of anxiety and everything that might come from us going out. So there's a lot of stress. And therefore, we are so lucky to invite Mr. Khairul Azad Idris, who has a master's in clinical psychology from IKIM. And he's a current fellow researcher in Center of Economic and Social Research in IKIM. Okay, he's specialized in neuropsychopathology, in neurodevelopmental and neurodegenerative, diagnostic assessments, psychotherapy, and mental health, and so on. he has a lot of expertise, and he's also a chairman of Malaysian Neurodevelopmental Disabilities Association, and also Secretary General Malaysian Association of Psychospiritual Therapy. So without further ado, Mr. Cairo is already here. I'll let him introduce more about himself, and then we'll go into the chit-chatting. So Mr. Cairo, the mic is all yours.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yap. How are you today? Okay.
Great.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right. First of all, okay, just briefly that I am Hairul Azhar Idris. I'm a clinical psychologist as well as working currently with IKIM, Institute of Harmony Islam Malaysia, as a fellow researcher. And um, first of all, I would like to thank you very much to INTI International University, especially to Madam Elsie and Madam Aziza for inviting me to this platform in our sessions this mornings in order to share some basic or some what we call information, skills, knowledge as well to every one of us here. And I hope that everyone's the audiences are doing fine, very well, and welcome to the platforms. Okay, all right. So I think that's it. Yeah, about my brief introductions. Mr. Yap, we get back to Mr. Yap. All right.
Thank you for introducing yourself, and once again, definitely thank you to everyone who has organized this event and also given us the chance to talk about this stressful new normal. Right. So, because I personally have experienced the stress, but I would like to have the experts, another expert's opinion about what is stressful about this new normal. So, do you share about that? What are the stressful factors about the new normal?
All right. Okay. First of all, I would like to say that very good morning as well. And thank you very much again. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good morning to audiences, to everyone of us here. Okay, all right. When we talk about new normal, all right, new normal is something that everyone's supposed to be new, right? And supposed to be normal. When we're talking something normal, meaning that something to do with everything or anything that make us happy, because it's normal. Okay, anything that make us okay, I am open with everything that what would be happening, right? Because it's normal, right? Every time, everyone love that, everyone like that. Even when we doing assessment, for example, okay, IQ, intellectual intelligence test, for example, everyone would would happy to hear that. Okay, when we done the administrations of the IQ test and intelligence test, or everything test, every type of test, depression test or anxiety test, we tend to love to hear that. Okay, our score is within normal range, right?
Yes,
okay, our score is normal, right? Okay, our test is normal. Okay, you would be fine, would be okay. So it's supposed to be that. But during the pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemics, okay, this is the new normal kind of thing that we have to face. All right. When we are talking about new normal, meaning that this is a normal kind of thing, right? We are living a new norms, what we call new norms of living kind of thing, new norms, right? This is new, okay? Within a range of new norms, meaning that something new, something that have never happened before, okay? But the issue is that, okay, even some, for example, you see some poll, okay, all right, some investigation and some research that adapting to a new normal is something stressful. It brings, what we call sort of bad experience or bad effect, and might be having, long-term effect to some people, to minority people, right? What is new normal? Okay, actually, and as we mentioned just now, that normal is something that would be positive, would be creating something happy. But when it comes to pandemic COVID-19, okay, normal thing is that a new kind of experience that normally in the first place create stressful, create very stressful experience, feeling of ambiguity, feeling ambivalent, as well as create tension and anxiety to some people. All right. Okay. Actually, a new normal is a kind of things that happen as a result of pandemic. Okay,
Correct. Right.
COVID-19. All right, and new normal is a you know attracts, okay, attract every one of us to create a new kind of what we call feeling, create new kind of how do we operate, how do we operate life, how do we operate our businesses, entrepreneurs, how do we go online, okay, for education system, how do we deal with other people socially, all right. So these are the new normal when okay, we can see that related to new normals, we always uh, hear something about SOP, right? Standard operating procedures that come together with new normal, right? We have to physically and socially distancing ourselves from other people. Okay,
Yeah.
limit yourself, restrict yourself from the crowd of people, right? Okay, then stay home, stay safe, and then do everything online. Be it doing shopping, business, or study. We do it online, right? Discussion, for example, even some of the clinical activities that we deal with our clients, we do it online. For example, okay, we have video conferencing. Okay, we have video, what we call video taping, not video tape now, right? We have video mode of what we call of analyzing the behavioral functions of certain kind of patients, okay, and then we analyze from the video in specific situation, for example, when they are playing, when they are doing their for example social activities, so we analyze them through the video, and then after that we provide and we produce report for them. Okay, so these are among the what we call SOPs, or new type of activities that we incorporate in our life, okay, as according to new normal. All right. As we mentioned just now in the beginning, that new normal can create something okay to some people. A new normal would be even stressful to some people, but the intensity of the stress could be very temporary, could be very light, mild, on the mild. But to some minority people, the new normal would be long lasting. All right, long lasting. So this is the what we call the tendency that normally the people, okay, would be developing when it comes to a new normal kind of thing, right? For example, okay. All right. When we talk about a new normal as well, we have to understand. All right, we have to understand what type of activities in our new normal kind of living that create stress, that create anxiety, for example, right? And even it may bring depression to some people. Okay, I think I would like to share. There are two situations when we deal or when we try to manage ourselves during the pandemic COVID-19. Right? First is the infection, the virus infection itself, right? How do we deal with the infection? Okay. Second is what we call as a byproduct of the pandemic, we have new normal, right? Okay. New normal kind of thing actually happens long before, decade ago, as a result of anything. Could be as a result of economic downturn, economy, yeah, all right? Could be happen as a result of financial crisis, okay, could be occurring as a result of job insecurity, okay, global recessions, as well as okay, before it happened to be like it happened to be that you see SARS virus, Ebola virus, okay, everything would create new normal. And I'm sure, I'm so sure that among our audiences today, every one of us will have our own personalized, personal, specific kind of new normal kind of thing, right? As a result of the pandemic. Okay, and I'm sure if you would like to share the normal kind of thing or new normal kind of living norms that happened to you as a result of the pandemic COVID-19, you could share. All all right, and then we discuss it in order to bring how to solve the problem that would be occurring as a result of that pandemic, COVID-19. Right? All right. Okay. For example, when you are home, you are not going into anywhere, right? You are doing anything at home, right? You are dealing with your work at home, and then you are dealing with your every type of investment, every type of activities, everything that all that you do it, okay, at home. All right. So these are the type of new kind of new normal. Okay. It would be create some, bring some happiness. It could be very, oh, I like that. But to some people, it can create tension and anxiety and stress. Okay. And for example, all right, there is someone who might say that, okay, this kind of new normal make me, make me, you know,
Makes the
uh,
boundaries a bit gray between my
yes,
workplace and also my living quarters, causing them to
yeah.
have like a sense of emotional distress there.
Yes, exactly. All right. Some of them, they might having, emptiness, for example. They might having loneliness. Okay. Even when we see that when every members in the family they're staying at home, right? For example, there are maybe 5 family members or up to 10 family members in a home, okay, in a
Mm.
house. All right. Okay, yeah, it's
That
normal.
is
It's normal kind of thing.
stressful.
Yes, it happens. It could be stressful, but for some, okay, this is actually a time for us, okay, to get even more closer, right? To get close to know each other. Even, yeah, we see each other before, but we don't get that so close in our family. Okay, all right. So this is the time, but to some other people, when they are all together in the house, it can bring tension and anxiety. Okay, it has been reported that in some time, okay, previously that a number of you see there was an increase, okay, increased number of what we call battle wife, battle husband, increased numbers of bullying, right? Okay, at home. So that happens during the COVID-19 pandemic. So this what we call could be okay in terms of what we call the situation that create more stressful what we call experience to every one of the family members. Okay, and the situation also actually okay reveals or exposed to us that the family functioning is not that smooth, it's not that good, all right, as well as it comes to understanding that the management of the problems in the family is not solved okay properly, productively, in healthy way of solving the problems. So those are among those kind of what we call stressful situation that happens during the new normal, right? Even to some people, right, when they cannot go out, right, cannot go out from home, they just restricted and limited, they confined in their own home, in their own places, right? For example, okay, they become yeah, as I said just now, so lonely, emptiness create, and then the feeling of loneliness then creates another what we call down spiral result. Okay, all right, that bring them more sad, and then lastly would create depression, anxiety, so on and so forth. Actually, when we talk about a new normal, it is not what the new normal is all about. Okay, it is about the way how do we interpret, the way how do we perceive, and the way how do we manage the new normal kind of thing, right? Okay, that is the what we call the most important thing, right? And even most of the time we cannot control other people, we cannot control the situations, okay, how the situation is look like, okay, look like how the situations is running, we cannot control the situation, but we still can control. Okay, what we can control is how do we adopt, how do we manage, how do we perceive and interpret with the situations. All right. Well, I think and I guess some of the audiences are so happy with the new normal. Why? Because in new normal they stay home, right?
When
Okay.
we stay more in home, that is a good thing. I mean, we don't have to travel as much, getting stuck in traffic
Yeah,
there,
very
which also
good.
increase our own sense of agitation there. Right?
Yes, yes, very good. So that we can save our money, right? So that we can have more and enough financial control over what we call over the spending, right? Okay,
Mm.
all right. And at the same time, we also make ourselves more relaxed. Okay, because as you said just now, we got no more,
No more traffic jams.
yes, we just lock ourselves during our confinement, right?
Mm.
So we are happy with that, especially among those people, right? Among those people with what we call mental health issues, all right?
Mm.
Mental health issues that relates to what we call social anxiety, for example. Okay,
Yes.
so they are afraid of being okay, going outside, for example, being
Mm.
outside with the other people outside home. Okay, they feel shy. Why do they feel shy? They feel shy because they are so focused about what other people are thinking about them.
Mm.
Okay, I am thinking, they are thinking about me as something bad. I am thinking that other people are thinking of me as I am so ugly, I am not that handsome, I am very very what we call very not productive, for example, very peculiar, very weird in terms of our thinking, our behavior, our interaction, so that they are happy when they are confined in their own place. So that would be something what we call positive, even it is not that helpful, right? Yeah,
It
it's
is
not that
not that
helpful.
helpful in the long
Yes,
term.
it's not. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is not helpful because um, people with social anxiety, for example, not only social anxiety, with other type of mental health issues,
Depression as
mental illness,
well.
for example, yes, depression as well, with issues with separation anxiety disorders, for example, and
Yeah.
autism, for example.
Mm.
Okay, it is not helpful for them because because the situation actually the new normal limits. What do
It
they
is the
limit?
social pressure.
Yes, they limit their activities, and to the extent that they cannot learn. They aren't able to learn how the social skill, how the social functioning
Mm.
is happening, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Indeed, indeed.
Actually, when we are in our colleague, in our social group of people, okay, we learn how to interact, how to talk, right? How to
Mm.
give a smile, for example, and how to say hi, how to say bye, for example, and how to wait for our turn in terms of our conversation, right? So
Yeah.
we learn all those kind of skills and activities, for example, during social activities, okay, social kind of activities. But this kind of new normal actually, to a certain extent, limits and confine our opportunities, right? Our abilities as well to develop the skills related to social, what we call social, social etiquette, social interaction, social communication as well. Okay, even it's more what we call sort of more dangerous, for example, for those people with autism, for example, Asperger or autism spectrum disorders, right?
Mm.
Because they
They are
already
the higher functioning autistic
yeah,
people.
all
Mm.
right.
And they need
So,
the social interaction to learn about that more. And with
yes,
the
exactly.
COVID-19, the only social interaction they're having is with their family members, which they might
Yes,
take a bit
exactly.
more comfort in
Yes,
being a bit
yes,
more behavioral. Mm.
yes. All right.
Okay.
Okay. When you mentioned about what we call family members, okay, they do
Mm.
fine when they are interacting with family members, right?
Mm.
But we are not
Definitely.
sure. Well, we are not sure how long this kind of new normal would last. So what
Mm.
does that mean?
They
Okay.
might not be able to generalize.
Yes, exactly. It means that, it means that sometime it would last to bring some tension, stress.
Mm.
Okay, okay. Would you like to talk all the time with the same kind of person, okay, for a long period of time?
I
Okay.
mean, for as social beings, we wouldn't want to because we might
Yeah.
get a bit boring and The things
Yes,
will be
exactly.
repeating the same thing.
Okay. Yes, and the bad thing about boring, a bad thing about this one, you mentioned about boring, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Boredom, yeah, about boredom.
Whatever.
Yes, actually, it will bring to either type of behavioral problem and behavioral issues, especially for even to neurotypical normal people,
Mm.
right? Okay, when boredom strikes, okay, what would happen? It creates stress, it creates more anxiety. When boredom strike, it creates emptiness and loneliness. So when these are happening, right? So we are, we are restricted ourselves to the feeling of stress, boredom, anxiety. So I feel bored, and then I got no more any benefit from this kind of situations. Then I will feel more anxious, and then it will create other type of behavioral implication for the family members, for the person. For example, start to think about eating, eating too much, for example. So on which,
Constantly having snacks.
yes, exactly. So it would create some other issues. For example, right, uh, weight gain, for example, eating something unhealthy, right, and then some of them just doing sitting, on the chair, doing nothing, just
Mm,
following the sedentary lifestyle. So that would create other issues with healthy lifestyle problem, right?
mm,
Okay, so
obesity
these
and
are
all.
the, yes, obesity, weight gain, overweight, for example. Okay, so these are among those kind of issues that actually, we have to manage ourselves when it comes to issues like this. And this is what we call very, very unavoidable type of activities or program when it comes to the pandemic related to COVID-19, right? Okay, in terms of communications, okay, the communication become restricted, become limited, and also, and as well, it limits, okay, as mentioned just now, our ability not only to to have a diverse, what we call, type of
Social interaction with multiple
social interaction,
people,
so on and so
getting
forth.
to know
Exactly.
more people.
Yes, very good. Exactly. All right. So that actually it limits our, our emotional control as well as our emotional freedom. So we don't have
Mm,
so much fluctuating type of emotional reaction. We cannot. Yeah, we don't have that much. All right.
mm,
So it actually brings a lot more stress. It brings a lot more distress. It brings a lot more negative emotion and feelings to every one of us when it comes to what we call new normals. As we mentioned just now, that new normal is supposed to be that something that we love, something that we like,
mm,
right? But this kind of new normal is actually depend on our own interpretation, depend on our perception. How do we manage this kind of new normal kind of things so that our behavior, our what we call our thinking, our emotion that relates to new normal would be as normal as it was before. All right, or we understand about the limitations, but actually we cannot control the situation, we cannot change the situation, but we can only change ourselves, our perceptions, our reactions toward the situations about the activities that is happening. Okay, all right. Okay, what I'm trying to share that, what I'm trying to say, that it doesn't mean that we cannot control the situation, right? Okay, it means a lot that we can control, but with some other, or for example, we have to do some extra works. We have to be able to present ourselves so that the surroundings would be parallel, or would be reciprocal to what we are expecting. All right, so
mm,
that they are open with what we are proposing actually. All right, and at the same time, we try to expose or try to adopt the skills of negotiating with other people, how to be mutually reciprocating our interests, okay, our needs, so on and so forth, so that every one of us in terms of our living kind of thing would have what we call a balance as well as win-wins interest
situation.
situation. Yes, that is the most important thing that actually determines. So we can call this as what we call the social or behavioral determinants, right? Of healthy mental health, healthy living kind of things, even during the pandemic situation. All right.
So, Khairul, we have a question here. Because this, you have mentioned about how this new normal is also stressful, and we're trying to adapt to it, right? So, one of the questions is it normal for us to have so much stress due to this normal? Because when
Okay.
it's talking about normal, aren't we supposed to already feel like, hey, this is something okay? Let's try to
Yes.
adapt to it. But a lot of us are
Yeah.
trying to, but it's still constantly stressful, is it? And is it
Yeah.
normal for them? Is
Okay.
it
Very good
normal?
question. Okay, I like that. Okay, actually, it depends. It depends, and even it is sometimes okay if we say that it would be normal to have stress during the normal period of time, right? It is okay, and it is normal to have stress. All right. Have you heard of there is another term that represents stress, but in positive way, right?
Okay.
Okay,
Ah,
stress, but in positive way. So we call it eustress.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
eustress represent another type of stress. Okay, the same type of stress in terms of intensity, in terms of severity, right? In terms of frequency as well. But actually, it it directs to more positive type of behavior. It directs to more positive type of thinking and feeling. So it's what we call eustress. Okay, when eustress happens, it helps us to be more vigilant, okay, to be more active, to be more effortful, right? So there is eustress, okay, but in positive way, in productive, in more healthy way. Okay, when we talk about pandemic situation as happened as a result of COVID-19. Okay, when does eustress take place, for example? Anyone can share. All right, eustress can take place during the COVID-19, for example. Okay, when okay, everyone sharing that we have to control ourselves from being infected, right? From get infected
Correct,
from
correct.
the virus.
Being infected, live a
Yeah.
good life, even if within this new normal, trying to be very productive and all that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And we might be sometimes having some difficulty to get food, right?
Mm,
Okay.
sometimes.
Yes, that creates stress. But
But is
okay,
that you stress or distress?
yes, it gets stress actually, but okay, it may also create some use stress when, for example, we call our friend to help us to buy some food. Okay, we call, for
Mm-hmm.
example, some other entrepreneurs, mobile entrepreneurs, for example, right, to bring forward. We can order it online and then make
Mm-hmm.
them delivered to our doorstep. So
Mm-hmm.
there is stressful situation that it creates to something positive. That is, yeah, you stress, right? And then everything's okay. You know, when we talk about life, everything in life is stressful, right?
True.
So meaning that we have to do our effort, and you know, what we call doing some effortful activity is something stressful. Stressful, for example, like studying, doing assignment, for example, right? It's okay. Reading some book. It is a normal kind of activity, but it's effortful. Okay, and it creates stress, right?
Mm.
But it brings positive result. It brings, for example, success. For example, we can get a good mark when we study hard, we study smart, for example, right? So there is use stress. So this explains what is the difference between stress and use stress, for example. And in terms of what we call long-term effect or health effect, stress. Use stress.
Stress?
Okay, what is happening? All right, all right. Uh,
Apologies. That's the road is real close to my place,
Oh,
so the
okay.
motors
It's okay.
are
Yes, it's okay. Never mind. Okay. Actually, it can be something that create some stress.
that
And
sound actually causes a lot of
productive.
distress most of the time. Suddenly,
Yes.
that sound.
Yes. Of course. All
Mm,
right. I agree with that. Okay. It's okay. Never
okay.
mind. Actually, it's would be very transient, very calm. What is happening nowadays when it comes to pandemic COVID-19. Well, you know why? Because everybody's stay home. Yes. Okay. No more getting trouble in what we call traffic jam, right? Congested roads. No more bising because of horning, so on and so forth, right? So we love that. Okay, this is actually what is happening during the COVID-19. Okay, the water, what we call the rivers, become so clean, right? As a result of normal activities. Okay, yeah. Some people like this, some people like that, but uh, we hope that yeah, we understand that even the situation is we believe to be just temporary, right? Just only temporary. We hope that and we believe that the long term effect of it could be long term, could be permanent, for example. Yeah. So we believe that and we hope that with God will that the long term would be long lasting. So that is what is okay. What I can share in terms of what we discussed just now in terms of stress, in terms of eustress. Okay, one more thing is that stress and eustress, right? Stress and eustress, of course, both of them can, yeah, can create or can bring, can result in what we call special kinds of effect. Could be what we call the diverse, could be what we call the adverse effect, right? The adverse effect of stress, the adverse effect of eustress. Yeah, even the term could be different, but the effect, the impact that it brings could be similar, right? Because our brain, so when we talk about brain, we have to understand that our brain cannot differentiate.
So if
Yeah.
our brain cannot differentiate, but we still have to, release the stress that we have experienced. Because one of the audience asked that question: how can we release all this stress? Because regardless of it being stress or distress, it's still happening to our
Yes.
brain. How can we
Yes.
release this stress so that it can feel a bit more
Yeah.
positive? How
Yes.
do
Very
we
good
do that?
question.
Mm-mm.
Yes, very good questions. So we believe that our brain cannot differentiate whether it is stress or eustress. So the result would be the same, right? I mean,
Mm-mm.
the result is happening at the level of neurophysiological, our
Mm.
brain, our cellular and molecular level, right?
Mm.
Activities would be different. So our brain cannot differentiate. All right. So it is up to us. All right. It is up to us. It is up to everybody. It is up to
Mm.
your self audiences. And depends on what type of activities that, you are going actually to do. Actually, we can lessen, okay, the bad impact or the negative or the adverse impact the stress would bring. Okay, we can lessen the impact. Okay, how do we do that? All right. Okay.
Yes.
Actually, you know, every person, as we mentioned just now, they
Mm-hmm.
have different kind of reactions. Yeah, at uh, the neurophysiological level, at the cellular, at the molecular level, they have different kind of reactions. Very individual, very personalized. Because everybody would react differently to the same source of stress. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yes, yes, definitely, because it determined by what? It determined by our genetic makeup, right? Our DNA. It determines by our own, for example, our own, what we call, our own body metabolism, our own homeostatic levels, and our own interpretations. Yeah, our own
Mm.
interpretation. And why do we behave differently? Why do we interpret and interact differently when it comes to the same type of uh, source of stress? Yes. So I'm talking about the what is happening. Okay. When it comes to stress or management of stress at the cognitive level. Okay. Some people will interact the same amount of stress or source of stress with different interpretation, right?
Mm.
Okay, so that it would bring different kind of activities. It would project to different kinds of solution to other people. Okay, it is determined cognitively by our own interpretation. Okay, cognitively, uh, it is determined by our own, not only our own interpretation, but beside that, determined by our own experience, our own childhood experience, especially childhood rearing practice by our mothers. How do our mothers and our fathers, our forefathers would react to the same kind of stressful sources, right? So we try to adopt because why? Okay, we believe that the ways that they react to the amount, to the source of stress was so successful. So we believe it would be the same. Actually, it was not.
Mm.
All right. Actually, it is not. Actually, it is not. It is very what we call incorrect, or it could be mythos. You know, myth. Could be a
Mm.
myth, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so we have to develop our own understanding. We have to develop our own, right? Our own mechanism of actions, how to deal, how to solve a problem, okay, in relation to something stressful or distressing, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So you mean
Okay.
to say that everyone's adaptiveness is different,
Yes.
adaptive methods are different, so we cannot just take a bracket that someone has dealt with this way and it's helpful for them and then put on us and then expect the same
Yes.
for us.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. Okay. This is what we call the self-dependent mechanisms in terms of
Mm.
coping skill, right? Okay,
Ah.
someone who are stressful, they adopt to different kind of coping skill. Okay, some of them
Mm.
might be sleeping, just sleeping. They just put the problem under the carpet, and then they
Indeed.
feel they feel happy with that. Okay,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow is another day, is the next day.
Mm.
So
Mm.
do you think that the problem is solved? It's not solved effectively, right? It's solved, but it's
Yeah.
not solved effectively, productively, or healthily. All right. Some
Mm.
people they might be considering smoking, for example. All right. So some people might be just resorting to okay, sedentary lifestyle. For example, enjoying movies on
Mm.
screen, all right,
Playing
all the
games
time.
every day.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be creating something different, right?
Mm.
Something, yeah. Even studies shows that, all right? Sedentary lifestyle is not helpful. Even sitting for a long period of time on a chair, right, up to more than 1 to 2 hours is not helpful, and it can shorten your life. Actually, just studies have been done. Studies have been
Oh,
done on that. So
that
this is
sleeping is
actually,
not good.
yeah,
Oh,
sleeping as well.
okay.
Okay,
Uh,
sitting, yeah, sitting. Sitting is not that good. If we sit for longer than, for example, more than 1 hour, it can shorten your life. Yeah. Why? Because sitting long hours actually has become what we call a moderating effect. Okay, moderating effect that can shorten the life of people, right? Because uh, yeah, because of that sedentary lifestyle, because no more activities, because the blood flow cannot actively reach out to the whole part of the body organ, right? So that's why we are always encouraged to do exercise. Exercising is very important, right? It's part of the
okay.
important kind of activities, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic for the new normal, right? And I think, and I believe that uh, you know, during COVID-19, exercising has become what we call more type of activities that we can adopt too much, that we can spend too much time on exercising.
Okay.
All right.
So
Okay.
spending too much time exercising
Yes,
is
as well
bad
as
as well.
okay, and okay. Actually, we believe that during the lockdown, right? For example, restriction, we can still do exercise at home. Okay, right, and at the same time we can do so many other activities, right? During the restriction, during the lockdown, right, at home we can do it on our own, or we can do it with family members, for example, or we can do it online.
Okay.
Yeah, some people they do video conferencing on exercise, all right, and
Um,
do it together. Okay,
yes,
actually,
understand.
yes, that is what.
Um,
Yes,
so
yeah.
it's Chicago. We have another few questions coming up, and then we are also running out of time. So let's try to answer the audiences as well.
Okay, all right.
One of it is that in a profession in which we need to deal with people around, how do we hide the the situation that we actually already have stress, because
Okay, all right.
especially for counselors, I mean for many mental health professionals, for doctors even, they are so stressed with the COVID-19 situation, and they still have to show as if they are very calm. So how do we manage that how to say change of faces
Okay, so change of places, right?
faces on the spot, like we cannot show our stress to them, we can only show a calm front to them. How do we manage that?
Okay. All right. Okay. Actually, there are some symptoms and signs when someone's stressed, when someone is under stress,
Mm.
right? It could be physical symptom and sign.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Shaking.
When we talk about physical symptom and sign of someone who is stressed up, okay, it could be that they are more aggressive. Part of
Mm.
it. Outburst anger becomes so prevalent, all right, so frequent, okay, and then they get more issues with physical symptom, stomachache, headache,
Mm.
for
Mm.
example, okay, in terms of behavior, for example, okay, just now we talk about physical, so now behavior they are more aggressive towards each others, okay, anger outbursts, okay, some of them they might be having issues with frequent eating, uh,
Mm.
eating
So
too much, for
for
example.
but for example, so we are already in front of the audience in that sense. Doctors meeting patients, teachers
Oh,
meeting
okay.
their students. How do we manage it on the spot?
Oh, okay. Well, I believe, okay, okay. Actually, I try to get your question, okay, precisely. All right. Even from my experience, right? From my
Mm.
experience when doing clinical work,
Mm.
all right. When doing clinical works, we try to do some online interview. Okay,
Okay.
online interview. Okay, just like a face-to-face interview, but we do it this time online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When we do online, together with us, in front of us, some kinds of questionnaires, for example, some type of papers and forms, for example, that we have to fill it up based on the report
Mm.
about the physical symptom, about the cognitive symptom, about the what we call anxiety symptom, for example, that is
Mm.
happening on the side of our patients. So we can get even online the information that we need. All right.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
that answer the
And
question?
then,
Yeah.
uh, not exactly. So, for example, I'm the person, and I'm
All right.
about to, deal with the live audience on this platform itself already. So,
Okay.
and I'm feeling stressed, right? I'm feeling stressed. How can I deal with it? How can I manage the showing that I'm actually very calm and composed instead of the stressful side of myself? I think that's the
Okay.
question that the audience is asking. So, how can we
All right.
manage that? Mm.
Okay. We try to manage our own anxiety, right?
Yes, correct. On the
Okay.
spot. On the
On the spot.
spot.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So now I think I got the question. I understand it. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Actually, there are so many. We call it techniques, approach, or intervention that we can do ourselves. Okay.
Okay.
When we feel or when we are under stress. All right. Okay. The best and simple, very cheap ways but effective type of ways is doing this kind of activities. First is deep breathing. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. We resort ourselves to do deep breathing. Okay.
Mm.
Maybe sometime or later on, we teach our audiences, right, how to
Okay.
do deep breathing.
Okay.
Okay. Deep breathing is effective in the sense that, okay, it uh, teach us the skills how to control our emotions.
Mhm.
Okay, it teach ourselves the skills how to manage and control our own physiological hyperreactivity, right? So it can control, because when we do what we call deep breathing, this is what we call belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing.
Breathing.
Yes, breathing is very helpful. Okay, and
Mm.
secondly, is we can adapt the ways how do we focus on things, right?
Mm.
We have the ability to control our own what we call to have our own ability to control what we are going to do, right? Okay, as we always hear that we are what we feel, right?
Mm.
We are what we think. So meaning that when you are feeling sad, so you are depressed. When you are happy, so meaning that you are certainly happy. Okay, so
Mm.
when you feel happy, okay, then you are feeling happy. So what you feel, you are what you feel, and you are what you think. When you thinking negatively, then you start to feel down, negative, unhappy, feel a feeling of boredom, so on and so forth. So we try to focus our attentions, right, to distract our focus our attention from anything that is negative. Okay, we realign and refocus our thinking to anything that is positive, right? Okay,
Okay.
positive, for example. Okay, what type of activities which are so productive, which are so healthy, which are so what we call positive, right? Okay, to ourselves, so we can resolve ourselves with that kind of activities. All right. Okay. All right. And then we also can manage the way how do we we process the information. For example, okay,
Mm.
we can interpret, all right, we can interpret anything that happens positively as well. So we can interpret it. Okay. Okay. Even some might be arguing that
Mm.
okay, if that is what is happening negative, so negative, how could we change uh, the things positively, right? So
Right. Right.
yeah, we would create some form of what we call paradox,
Mm.
paradoxical, what we call paradoxical understanding, for example, something like that. Okay, and then um, it is only at the what we call cognitive level. So we are talking about the cognitive level. How do we change, right? The way we perceive, the way we interpret what is happening in the situation. But logically we have to change what is happening. But in order to change what is happening in the situation, we have to what? We have to do some more extra work. We have to
Mm.
deal, we have to negotiate. We have,
Mm.
even presenting ourselves in a very positive and very good image, in a very beautiful way of, uh, you know, presenting to other people actually would automatically, spontaneously change the people, the situations, how do they would react to ourselves.
Okay.
Right.
So managing the thoughts that we have, the perception, and then on the spot, we
Yes,
try to change
correct.
our behavior for the better. Lah. Okay,
Yes, exactly.
that's helpful. So Injik, one last question before we
Okay.
are running out of time, really. So one last question is, I guess one of our audience is a parents, so they are wondering because children are also going through the same thing as we are, and they are also stuck at home and they have to go through their learning every day online. So how can we tell if children are actually experiencing some sense of stress because
Yes.
they they might just be playing constantly, and then to us it seems like okay they have time, and we also already are focused so much on our own self. So what are the small signs that we can still find even though we're busy with our own work and everything from our children if they are stressed or not?
All right. Okay, see
Mm.
something very good about children. Okay,
Mm.
with
Oh,
I'm sure, I'm sure that all audiences agree with me. Okay,
okay.
right? Children cannot lie.
Children can lie.
Yes, children cannot lie. So meaning that if we are, apt enough to the certain extent that uh, the way the children speak up, the
Mm.
way children behave actually tells everything. All right, just like an adult, but an adult they can use some other type or other form of strategies to
Mm.
confabulate the situation, right? All right,
Mm.
but when it comes to children, yeah, we understand when we deal with children. Okay, every day, when we deal with children all the time, we can understand, we can see the situation, whether the children are having, issues with stress or not. All right. Okay. Yeah, of course, nowadays that everything's going online, right? Even when we do classroom activities, right? Classroom activities, learnings, education system also they go online. All right. When it comes to children, we can easily spot that children having issues with stress in terms of their physical symptom. For example, they have uh, you know, uh, yeah, as I said, yes, the symptoms are sharing with the adult as well. For example, the majority of them, they might be saying some form of physical aches, right? Physical aches, physical pain, for example, stomachache, right? Such as stomachache, having headache or migraine, for example. They have issues. Some of them that's just might directly say, yeah, that okay, I'm tired, okay, I'm hungry, I need some food. Just a form of escapism, for example, right? Escapism. So when it comes to activities, they try to avoid, they try to escape from the activities. So meaning that they are under stress. And then how do we deal with them in terms of we believe that they have to study online, right? Okay, we can do some, for example, we can verbally persuade them, right? And we can okay, and not only persuade them, but we can also offer them some other type of activities which are activities which are so, encouraging, that create, that bring happiness for our children, so that they can okay, with some agreement that you have to study to finish up the homework, for example. But later on, if you finish up your homework, you can get this kind of activities that you like. You can go watch your favorite, for example, TV program, for example, or play game activities, right? Which is favorable to you. Okay, we can sort of promise to them, right? Okay, after, but it's actually subject to the activities. So this is what we call behavior shaping. So we try to shape, okay, the behavior of our children, so that they can coordinate mutually with our intentions, right? Okay, so that they can agree to comply with our instructions, with the needs to finish up homework, with the needs to do online study, for example, right? But we have to get some agreement. So this is what we call behavior shaping. So we shape the behavior of our children, but with some kind uh, of what we call antecedents, with some kinds of what we call activities, so that when they finish this kind of activities, only that they can continue with the favorite type of
Favorite activity.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So we can promote, we can shape them so that every part of the members, okay, can have what we call goal directed, mutual goal directed intention. So that is the most important kind of activity.
Understood. So to say, notice if the children are actually showing signs of escapism, and using
Yeah.
that to help them to shape behaviors
Yes,
that will be helpful
exactly.
for them in the long term.
Mm.
Okay, so
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Khairul.
Okay, all right.
Our time is up. So before we
Okay.
end, I would just like to have you give some, final words to all of the audience before we end, and then
Okay.
I'll take over. Yeah. So do you have anything you would like to say to the audience at the
Okay.
end?
All right. Okay, actually, one thing is that new normal is supposed to be creating happy, right? But in
Mm,
this kinds, it up to us. Okay,
mm,
and a new normal is a kind of is kind of situations that cannot be neglected, so that
mm.
new normal also can actually strengthen up, our stability in terms of mental health, our stability in terms of what we call family ties and relationship with other people. All right, okay, and then lastly, all right, lastly, if we have some issues with mental health problems, for example, is related to COVID-19 pandemics, please don't be shy, don't be resistant or reluctant to get some, some opinions, get some invitation, for example, make ourselves free, okay, that was a free, open up ourselves and get some advice, okay, even if we are, and even we have to create the understanding that it is okay to be stressful, but we have to be able to manage, okay, know how do we what is the way, the best way, the productive way, the healthy way to manage the stress, okay, and open up, okay, it is okay to visit some mental health experts if we have some mental health issue, it is okay, just feel free, okay, to visit them, just yeah, with the intentions to make ourselves to have a very good and better mental health stability. So that is it, I think. And thank you everyone against us and for the sharing, for the attention given to this forum this morning. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Angel Carol, for your presence here with us as well to talk about all this. And thank you for
All
all the
right.
audience that have joined us. And thank you for the people who have organized this talk. It has been a very wonderful, interesting talk with Angel Carol. Hope that everyone has identified what you need to do for management of
Yes.
stress, to identify stress with people who you love. And hopefully we can all adapt well to this new normal despite it being stressful for us. Alright,
Yeah.
so that shall end our session here today. Thank you once again and goodbye to all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. All right.